Today's video, I'm going to show you how to schedule 500 plus pieces of content using the Alex Hormozi framework for all of my offers, how I do it for my offers, and how you can possibly go ahead and do it too. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rich. I'm the founder of a company called Product Gym. You might also know me for our other programs, such as the tech sales program or my cybersecurity program, or most recently the conversational AI startup that I just recently joined as a founding team member. So this is actually for tech sales, this is for cybersecurity, and this is for the conversational AI startup that I'm part of. If you're gonna go ahead and try to go and secure, I would say, any type of trustful relationship, whether you are looking for a job, whether you're trying to start a side hustle, launch a business, the most important thing is having a following, because people need to go ahead and accomplish, essentially speaking, you need three objectives accomplished. People need to know you, trust you, like you. And it has to happen in that order. There's a lot of people that people would trust that are like internet gurus and stuff. Not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but in the grand scheme of things, like, it's always going to be 80-20, right? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to, they might know you, they may or may not trust you, but even a lot of trusted sources, they're just like, I can't listen to that guy talk, and I'm totally guilty of that too. So I'm trying to create more content creators out there, because if you're trying to go ahead and land AI product manager job, a tech sales job, a cybersecurity job, or you're trying to go out there and get funding, or you're trying to launch some kind of AI offer, the truth of the matter is you need content. And this is the one area where you really cannot afford to procrastinate, because it's literally all these views, they are marinating like fine wine. And this is actually going to be a bigger part of like a much larger series. So definitely follow me on my personal channel, which is Richard Chen HQ, if you have not already, because I'm going to be coming out with a lot more content on this particular area. But the first thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to set up our YouTube calendar for the month. That's the first thing that we want to go ahead and do. And then the next thing that we want to go ahead and do afterwards is we want to convert the YouTube transcriptions into newsletters and blogs, because we need to increase the various forms of how people consume content. So this one here is going to be YouTube. This one here is going to be newsletter and blogs. In addition to basically that, you also need, I'm just going to move this guy right here to the side for now. We need to go ahead and actually record short forms. We need to go ahead and actually do some social media posts. And social media posts, I'm going to talk about, we're going to break these down into more steps, but you talk about social media posts on LinkedIn, social media posts on YouTube posts, social media posts on X, right? It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And then, of course, you want to have some degree of like collaboration with other creators and influencers in the space. And hopefully during this time, you're also scoring some brand deals, generating brand deals and endorsements by, positive references in the content, right? So if you're talking about, let's just say, we talk about this one company called Lovable. Everybody's talking about Lovable right now, right? So if you go out there and you reference Lovable a lot, like Lovable ends up sending you a check, or you can use them as like a referral, right? So a lot of times people think like, I'm not making any money putting out content. There is money to be made actually in the content in itself. So let's talk about, first things first is setting up the YouTube calendar. And then we're going to talk about how to transcribe it. And then we're going to talk about all the short forms. And then we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And then we're going to talk about YouTube posts. And we're going to go out there and talk about X. And I'm largely doing this exercise also for myself. Because when you have this many freaking offers, you start to forget sometimes. But we're also going to go ahead and track all of this. Because I have a really good feeling a lot of you guys are going to be reaching out to me for help. So the first one that I have is going to be product management. I got the Richard Chen YouTube channel. HQ. So these are the YouTube channels. I currently right now have tech sales. I also have cybersecurity. I just got approved for an HVAC course. And then I have Dojo AI, or the conversational AI startup that I'm part of right now. Okay. And the objective for each and every one of these channels is to generate high quality calls. Except for this one. This one is very informative. So I'm just going to move this guy right here. And I'm just going to move it to the very top, because everything else, I'm just here to go ahead and generate calls. Move it over here. So I'm here to generate calls. I'm here to generate calls. I'm here to generate calls. Right? And it's in this particular order. I love all my kids equally, but sometimes, you know, cybersecurity is actually a pretty bigger niche right now. We got HVAC, we got Dojo. So I have all of these different YouTube channels. And then I need to come up with some good titles. And I need some topics. And then I also need some YouTube playlists. Why? Because when people find that your channel, and we're going to update this right here, when you have playlists, it makes it so much easier for people to go ahead and navigate your YouTube channel. It makes it so much easier to navigate your YouTube channel. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, starting with all of this, is I'm going to go ahead and now start adding some playlists to go out there and start seeing who is it that I can go and kind of target here a little bit. So starting with the very top, I'm going to have a few playlists right here. So I'm going to talk about, and I already popped it over to the other side. Okay, boom. I'm going to talk about profit with AI prompts, profit with vibe code applications, profit with AI agents, profit with internal GPTs, profit with AI avatars. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add something else here. I'm going to go ahead and also add in another playlist, and it's going to be called AI Side Hustles right here. And it's going to go all into my Richard Chen YouTube channel right here. And I'm also going to have a few other ones, which is, well, these are three other guys that I also want to have too. AI career coaching, AI education, AI consulting. I'm just going to have these playlists up. What else do I really want to have up at this point right now? Well, I also want to talk about profit with conversational AI. And I'm going to have that right here. And then I'm going to have, let me see, what else do I really want to have? I also want to go and track all of my all this other stuff here that I'm going to be doing. Why do I want to go ahead and do this? Because when you got this many freaking offers, you forget sometimes the strategy. So just like how I'm making this video right now, it's going to help me freaking remember, right? So I'm going to have like product management, tech sales, cybersecurity. I have my HVAC channel. I have my tech and AI influencer channels for my PM YouTubers right here. Tech bootcamp leads, commission only, high ticket salespeople. So I'm going to make all that tech bootcamp placements, WAP, digital nomad. So a lot of my stuff is actually on the WAP platforms. I've been talking about how cool they are because I want to get a check from WAP, talking about how cool they are. So I'm going to have all of this. Now I can't tackle all of this at the same time, right? I only got so much time, but I'm going to go out there and try to hit as many of them as possible. So we basically have that. And then on the bottom right here, I'm going to go and now I have these playlists. I'm thinking to myself, shit, there's all kinds of crap that I can go ahead and record with this. How am I going to prioritize all of this? Well, easy. I'm going to add a little priority list right here. I'm going to prioritize this guy here as number 1 because I'm talking about side hustles from my crew of people. So this is a spreadsheet that I just have, just keeping track of some AI product management stuff. And these people here, they need jobs and they need to show some side projects, right? So I'm going to have, this is part of the playlist, AI side hustles. But I also have this thing called Dojo that I'm part of. And I need to start creating some content for Dojo. So here, I'm going to go out there and list out some of the content for Dojo. Okay. And then I have to go out there and also create some content for cybersecurity, tech sales, and HVAC. So I'm going to go out there and make a list of all these different titles. And in my next video, I'm going to go out there and actually talk about how I come up with content for Dojo AI. But here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to highlight this, I think, pretty easily. There are 30 days. So max out, I only really need about 30 videos if I really wanted to go boss. And if I stay on one topic, I can go ahead and stay on that topic for a pretty long time. So if all I talked about is product management resumes, I can go out there and talk about product management resumes, right? So what am I going to do? I'll give you example. So I have 2 cybersecurity YouTube channels. I have one here that's dedicated towards people trying to break into cybersecurity, and I have one that's for people that's already in cybersecurity. So for the people that are trying to break into cybersecurity, I will go ahead and give you a little bit of a little taste. So here, cybersecurity transitioners, I'm going to go ahead and make a topic or a playlist where, let me go ahead and see. Well, actually, hang on. These are the offers, right? So for here, cybersecurity, I'm going to make some playlists. And I'm just going to drag it down right here. So I can talk about a few things. I could talk about CompTIA A+. I can go ahead and talk about CompTIA A+. So I can talk about CompTIA Network Plus. I can go ahead and talk about CompTIA Security Plus. I can go ahead and talk about Certified Ethical Hacker. Okay. I can talk about, you know what else people really like? People love free resources. So I can talk about free resources. You know what else people also really like? People love like resume templates and all that kind of good stuff, right? Resume templates. And then from there, I just start making titles. And as you guys can see, I can go out there and have one that's like, how? Oh, I can make another one just before I forget. Choosing a cybersecurity program. Researching cybersecurity programs, right? In fact, I would go out there and make that thing number 1, which is like researching cybersecurity programs, okay? I can also go ahead and make a playlist on, you know, day in the life of cybersecurity. Life in cybersecurity. Because people, like, they need to get to, I'm a history major, so I think things in terms of, like, chronological order, right? Like, you have to, like, think about, like, all right, how do people think about this? Well, first things first is, like, do I want to be in cybersecurity? Well, okay, yeah, I can go out there and researching cybersecurity programs. Other things that I can do is call, like, financing cybersecurity programs. Options. I can go out there and make a lot of playlists about that because a lot of people think, like, it's going to be really expensive, right? For me to do a cybersecurity program. Actually, there's a lot of options that exist that people, I just don't think they are aware. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this thing down. And because I have these topics right now, I can go ahead and start thinking about what types of topics that I like, what kind of playlists and what kind of titles I can go out there and create. And I can create a lot. With conversational AI, I can start thinking about things such as, like, so we're very focused here is on cold calling, right? So what am I going to go ahead and do with this? Well, here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and make a list, and I'm going to get more detailed, but I'm going to go ahead and make a list of, like, top, okay, researching the best, or, you know, or ranking the best conversational AI for cold calling, right? That's something you can go out there and kind of pick at all day, right? AI, SDR. So these are topics that I actually know a lot about. HVAC here, I can actually just say like this, like researching the perfect HVAC program, the best HVAC programs. So all you got to do is just go out there and, you know, you just make a list of a lot of shit. And what you do here is you get back to, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make a bunch. I'm going to set up the YouTube calendar. So I have, like, you only really need 2 long form YouTube videos like a week. So you only really need 8 videos. I'm a little bit crazy. I like to go extreme. So when you take a look at like this, I'm going to go ahead and make a lot more videos. But, like, that's a lot of shit. Maybe you don't want to work that hard. I totally understand that. So you have this, okay? You got to convert the YouTube transcriptions into newsletters and blogs. Another little trick that I have is this. Once you convert the YouTube transcriptions into, and you do it with ChatGPT, right? The next thing that you're going to go ahead and do to get double visibility on there is you want to go ahead and add the YouTube video or embed the YouTube video into the blog, into the newsletter or blog, right? Okay. And then you record short form content, short forms on TikTok, on, you know, YouTube, and on Instagram. And if you want to go boss, additional would be like, you know, little red book. Okay. And then you schedule out short form video, long form video, and then you basically have your social posts, and then you have your social posts. And then you also have, like, I'm just going to go ahead and grab here. You want to go ahead and do, you know, you want to add the short form videos to YouTube playlists. So you can go ahead and just drop massive content. But you also want to go ahead and do in your short form video is you want to record recent news in the niche, right? So recent news in the niche with screenshots. Okay, so these are the steps. And then you have content format. And then you also have something called content platform. This one here is YouTube. This one here you could do Substack or LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a newsletter. We have a LinkedIn newsletter on here. Okay. And then this one right here, you want to go ahead and I'm just gonna go out there and add a little bit more. Record short form video. So we want to record short form video content on YouTube. Okay. On Instagram. Okay. And then you have basically here, you have a little red book. Optional. So you have that, and you have this right here, and then you have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have Little Red Book, and then on top of that you basically have your YouTube playlists. Not to mention, I would say the next big one that you should really be thinking about dropping it is you record the short video on video content TikTok, but you schedule on YouTube, and then you schedule because you can record it from TikTok, download it, and then you just upload it to all these different platforms, and then you schedule. Because TikTok allows you to go ahead and add the subtitles and the screenshots and all that other kind of crap, right? And the other thing here is you have schedule short form video content on LinkedIn. And you have LinkedIn right here. And then you have basically YouTube right here. And in terms of like short form content topics, you can go out there and record some like recent news stuff, and then you schedule the posts on what? LinkedIn, YouTube, and you have X. Okay. And then you go out there and you have this. So you have trust you, like you. So we need familiarity, we need credibility, and then we need also likability. All in one, right? And then you have all this shit ready to go. So once you basically have this, you can just go out there and schedule it. Now, what does this really actually look like in the grand scheme of things? For us right here, what we want is right here, we want calls, right? And we have YouTube right here. And then the next thing is, well, YouTube becomes newsletter, right? And then from the newsletters, they become social media posts. right? And then there could be carousels and then basically all of that other good stuff. But you also have short form content. And then all of this basically equals out calls. Right? And that's what you actually want. Now, are there people that are just going to keep watching your shit? Yeah, and do nothing? 100%. But the more they keep on seeing you, the better you're going to get at it. And then you're going to go ahead and reference some of the other creators in the space. So I'm going to really break this thing down. But at a high level, this is how you would go. It's not that difficult for you to go and get like this much. I largely recorded this video too to go out there and kind of like stay sane on my end. But I'm about to go ahead and drop some like mad content here. Yeah. So like the first one that I have here was like, 7. Let me see here. Richard Chen. 7 profitable AI side projects and hustles to launch with like 0 experience, right? So 7. So this is actually the first one. How's it going? I'm gonna show. Right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add it all right here. And then here's what I'm going to go ahead and do once I actually have all this. Let me go out there and minimize that. I'm also going to go ahead and have the Loon video here because people don't give a shit about fancy editing anymore. They want step-by-step guide in terms of like how to go ahead and actually do all this stuff. So I'm going to have all this thing completely waxed out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start printing out my little playlist for conversational AI. And then I'm going to get onto cybersecurity transitioners. And I'm going to get onto cybersecurity careers. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I plan all this stuff. So this is going to be under my content strategy playlist. Okay, and I'm going to have some other fun stuff here like, digital nomad life. But this is going to be underneath content strategy. I'll just call it YouTube growth. Yeah, and then everything's just gonna go out there and circle out, and then you will go ahead and see this all for yourself. So the name of this video is how I schedule 500 plus minutes with the Alex Hormozi YouTube frame strategy. Let's go. Okay, if you guys want to learn how to start building out some of these AI like vibe coding applications, all that, schedule a call with us. But if you have an offer that you want me to go ahead and help you write up, more than happy to generate revenue for, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to go out there and help. Yeah, many more videos to go out there and come talk to you guys all very, very, very soon. I'm always more active actually on LinkedIn, and you can go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn all the way down here. Don't forget to subscribe.